The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act was not enacted only for the protection of a legally married wife. This law strives to protect all women in a shared household. Watch this video to know who can seek protection under the Act. Hi, this is Advocate Alisha Dujresh Palka, and this is my channel where I'll be telling you all you need to know about the laws that matter. We often come across clients who think that it is only a legally married wife that is entitled to protection under this Act, but that notion is incorrect. Section 2A of the Act provides the definition of an aggrieved person to mean any woman who is or has been in a domestic relationship with the respondent and who alleges to have been subjected to any act of domestic violence by the respondent. So as you may have noticed from the definition, it has 4 key words: any woman, domestic relationship, respondent, domestic violence. In my last video, I have explained the definition of domestic violence under this law. In this video, I will cover the concept of domestic relationship. As far as the words any woman is concerned, it is fairly simple. The Act applies to women and has been enacted for their protection. It is the definition of domestic relationship which actually brings meaning to the definition of an aggrieved person under this Act. A domestic relationship is defined under Section 2F of the Act to mean any relationship between two persons who live or have at any point of time lived together in a shared household when they are related by consanguinity, marriage, or through a relationship in the nature of marriage, adoption, or are family members living together as a joint family. Therefore, it is not only a legally married wife that is entitled to seek protection under the law, but the protection is also for the other women who live in a shared household with the abuser by virtue of consanguinity, adoption, or family members of a joint family. Consanguinity means descendants coming from a common ancestor, or in simple terms would mean blood relations. Therefore, right from the grandmother, to the mother, to the granddaughter, or even the sisters of the abuser are all protected under this Act. Even women who are family members living together as a joint family find protection under this Act. So this would encompass women such as maternal aunts, paternal aunts, stepsisters, stepmother, or even a widow if they are living together as a joint family. Now this is particularly important in an Indian context because we are a nation predominantly of joint families, where it is not uncommon to find multiple family units living together under one roof. In many cases, an unmarried daughter continues to live in her parents' home with her parents. But with time, the home gets filled in by other members of the family, such as the brother's wife, his children, or other family members. These unmarried women may face domestic violence at the hands of not only their siblings, but also of their family members, and they too find protection under this Act. Likewise, it is not uncommon for a mother-in-law or an unmarried sister-in-law to move into the house of their son-in-law, and thereupon there can be instances of domestic violence by the son-in-law against his in-laws. Such mother-in-law and sister-in-law too find protection under the Act. And this holds true also if the son-in-law moves into the house of the in-laws. The Act also provides protection to relationships by adoption. Therefore, an adopted daughter too can file for domestic violence against her abusers of a shared household. A very important and interesting aspect of this law is that it does not distinguish between married women and those women who are in live-in relationships. It provides equal protection to both from abuse at the hands of their partners. A bare reading of the section would show that it provides for relationships in the nature of marriage. This has been interpreted by the courts to bring within its sweep live-in relationships, a concept which is in vogue today. You can leave me a comment below if you'd like me to do a video on the legal dimensions of a live-in relationship. The definition also expands the scope of the relationship between two persons who are not only presently living together, but who have at any point in time lived together in a shared household. So the law extends its protection to women who have been put out of the house. Otherwise, it would have been very easy for an abuser to simply put the woman out of the shared household. So this aspect encompasses divorced women and also a wife who is living separately from her husband by a decree of judicial separation or otherwise. So in today's video, you have learned that the definition of an aggrieved person, when read along with the definition of domestic relationship, makes it clear that even women other than a legally married wife are entitled to protection under this law. In my next video, I will explain the meaning of the term respondent, and I will also tell you how women are liable for acts of domestic violence committed by them against other women, even though the definition of respondent would speak of an adult male. If you like my video and think my channel will be of help to you, then do subscribe to my channel. You can also like, share and click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my videos. See you soon!